Hey guys! In this episode, we'll be talking about the evolution of high school rom-coms. For the purpose of this podcast, we'll be looking at comedic movies that are set predominantly in a high school setting and that are centered around a romance plot. So we're not really going to be looking at the sad or more serious high school movies.
So we'll be looking at 4 different eras: the 90s, the early 2000s, and the 2010s, and finally what's coming in the new decade, the 2020s. Within each era, we'll be looking at the most notable teen rom-coms of the time, popular movie and character tropes, as well as just general trends.
We hope you enjoy! Hey, we're the Flick Chicks! I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica, and this is the podcast where 2 single college girls think they know a lot about love.
Yep. Especially in high schools.
Which we are not in high school.
Not anymore, but we're looking back a little too much.
You know what? High school is forever. I feel like you never lose that part of you, unfortunately.
That's kind of very sad.
Very unfortunately.
Does that mean the glow up is not coming?
Nope, not anytime soon.
My goodness. Okay, so we'll be starting with the 90s. So the 90s included notable movies such as 10 Things I Hate About You, Clueless, Never Been Kissed, She's All That, Romeo and Juliet, and Drive Me Crazy.
What an interesting time, I feel like, for rom-com. There honestly wasn't that many.
There wasn't. And you know what's weird? Literally, I named like 5, I think. And 3 out of the 5 were all released in 1999, which is when we were born. But isn't that wild? Like that year, they were just
I feel like that was the year for like adult rom-com.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of like Notting Hill.
That's true. Pretty Woman.
Bridget Jones' Diary, was that in 1990?
No, that was early 2000s.
Oops. Well, anyways,
but like, you know,
that kind of
it was
movie,
literally like 2000, so you're not off. Yeah.
Like I'm thinking more of like the adult ones, and that, like I feel like that's when the teen ones, like obviously it was really popular in the 80s, and then it kind of went away, I guess, in the 90s a bit. And then it came back late, because all of them are 1999 except for Clueless, which is 1995, and Drive Me Crazy, or Romeo and Juliet, which is 96. So it's like, it took a minute.
So it's a lot. That's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. So the popular movie tropes that we observed: girl makeovers, just fixing them up. Like really, that was the huge popular one.
Especially like I'm thinking mostly of Clueless and She's All That. She's All That. That's basically like the whole plot.
That
of the
is
movie.
the entire plot.
Is how can we make over this loser girl so that she can appeal to this boy?
10 Things I Hate About You. Not a makeover, but low key like.
I feel like it's like a personality makeover.
Yes.
Because it's going from her being super, like, cold and, like...
Well, it's based off the Shakespeare play Taming of the Shrew. So it was literally, like, about changing a woman.
The shrew?
Yeah, changing how she is.
Yeah, so I guess... And then Romeo and Juliet, I feel like that's kind of an outlier just because it's...
For sure.
Fully, like, based off of Shakespeare. I was looking for the word Shakespeare.
Yeah, not even, like, a little bit of a change. It's pretty much
But, yeah, it seems like the overall trend is just, like, oh, you are ugly, and we should fix you to find you love.
So you could be worth it, you know.
And I guess Never Been Kissed, too. I mean, she had to change.
Oh, my gosh, yes, she did have a makeover.
She was a little nerdy adult working in a... What was it? Like,
she was a reporter.
Yeah. And then she had to turn into
journalist,
teenager.
that's probably
like,
the right
we
word.
shouldn't even get into how weird that movie is.
Like,
the whole premise of it.
We will get into that in a bit. But, also, huge trope, which, by the way, stands the test of time. I don't think this trope is ever going to leave, is popular guy and loser/nerdy girl get together.
Or vice versa.
Vice versa, yeah.
If you're thinking of Clueless.
Like, nerdy person gets with popular person.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
Definitely has that. She's All That.
Oh, 10 Things? They're actually both losers, technically.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think it in a while, honestly.
So he's like the bad boy.
Oh.
And she's hated by everyone, but they both don't have friends. Like,
I guess.
So.
But he's kind of like, he's positioned as like cool and like, he's bad boy. Like, it's not like, you know, he gets into fights and stuff, right? Isn't that what it is?
No.
Am I thinking of the right movie?
10 Things I Hate About You. He doesn't get into fights.
I swear he there's like a rumor going around that he went to jail or something.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
rumors about him, but he's actually never fought anyone.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm thinking.
All of them are wrong. So that's why I'm saying he's not really popular because people don't actually know him and they don't hang out with him.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah.
But anyways.
But I understand what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
Also a big trend was bets. Like betting on a girl, like I could bag her, I could fix her, I could make her cute.
I mean, come on, that still happens now.
I know,
but yeah,
but I'm
I know what you mean.
Where does this idea come from? Because like, because I feel like sometimes I'm like, did this happen at someone's high school and they were like, oh my goodness, this is what we need to like.
I don't know, like who came up with this? I wonder.
I have absolutely no idea. Like,
Because I've never heard of that ever happening in real life. Like, okay, let's bet and see if we can get this girl to, like, or this guy to like this girl. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of the plot of, like, She's All That, and I'm like, would that really happen in real life?
I've heard of it, like, in colleges, like, for frats, they used to have, competitions of who could sleep with the most women and stuff. But, like, in a high school, that's pretty weird.
Like, you're talking, like, 50 and 16-year-olds here. That's just...
I know. I feel like it could get into territory of illegal or something. I don't know. I just feel like
I'm not going to go that crazy. But,
public displays or declarations of love, like, I feel like that happens...
This is when it's just starting out. In this era.
Because you have it in
really
10 Things I Hate About You.
I was going to say, the only one I can really
Never Been Kissed. She, like, went on the entire baseball field and, like, said she's... the entire reveal... The movie's called Never Been Kissed, but she doesn't reveal that she's never been kissed until the end of the movie, where she's, like, standing in the football field and saying... Or baseball field, sorry.
I'm telling you right now, like, that movie, I just did not like it at all.
So I didn't even enjoy it.
I did not enjoy it.
I watched it just so I had to
I think I watched it once, and I was like...
I've never seen it again, but I just remember clearly, I'm like... You're seriously going to reveal... Like, I was like, when are they going to talk about her being never kissed or whatever? Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, she has, like, no friends in that movie. Did you catch that? Like, I was like... I feel like that was a big problem because it was, like, for us to find out that she's, like, never been kissed, she's never had a boyfriend, would have been useful for her to have a friend to, like, relay her truth to.
Right.
And be like, oh, it's so weird that I'm hanging out. It's just wrong on so many levels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, public... declarations of love. I think that's less common now because people don't like it anymore.
Yeah, and it just seems really unrealistic. It does. Because, like, again, I still feel like it was just starting out in this era. I feel like the 2000s, once we get to that one, is definitely where it boomed. Like, every movie I can think of in the 2000s has that.
This one, Dead and Absent Moms. Again, this trope will continue for, like, life, but I feel like moms were a big, like, no. You have a mom, clearly
that's just weird to me. Like, that's like in Disney. Like, they used to do that. Like, for a lot of the Disney princesses, they would always, like, never have any moms.
Yeah. Why? It's just, I guess it gives them, the characters, more layers. But I feel like,
oh my god, I don't have a mom.
It's a lazy trope sometimes.
Yeah, it's
like,
lazy.
if done well, it can be done well, for sure. And it can propel, like, the person's story. But then it's like, sometimes I feel like they just throw in the dead mom for no reason. Like, they're like, oh, she sucks. Let's give her a dead mom. Like, you know, I'm like, what? Literally. Like, oh my goodness.
She needs a little interesting, like, something interesting to her personality. Let's sprinkle in a little dead mom.
They're like, wow, this character is completely unlikable. Dead mom! Clearly she's likable. Like,
make us feel bad for her.
Exactly. And we also have... last one, which honestly, not gonna lie, this is like my favorite trope ever. And no, I don't want it to die. Enemies to lovers.
Like, you can't, like... There's a lot of debate over this, whether friends to lovers or enemies to lovers is better.
I love both. What's the problem?
Enemies to lovers just has more fire.
My
to
favorite
it, you know? It gives you, like, it's a little more exciting.
My favorite is enemies to friends to lovers. That's my favorite one.
You can't go wrong. I think.
That one's so good.
I don't know. I feel like if you go straight enemies to lover, that's, like, really exciting.
That's the best. But, like, I feel like
because then you're like, whoa, where did this come from?
Right?
Like, I know a lot of people that hate it though. Yeah, I know a lot of people that hate it.
Why?
Like, no, give me friends to lovers, and it's like lame.
I feel like friends to lovers. You have to convince me that it wasn't... I don't know, like...
that it wasn't there before. Because it's like their friends... It probably was... If it's like friends to lovers, there probably was something...
Yeah. No, I prefer in the shadows. I don't like friends to lovers where one person wasn't in love with the person beforehand. Like, I don't like when it's like, oh, we're friends and, like, no one had feelings, like, at all, and then all of a sudden we do this one thing and then we have feelings. Like, I'm like, that's not realistic.
Like, friends to lovers has to be like something has to build up. Like enemies to lover, it's like, it's kind of unrealistic, but that's what makes it exciting.
It's nice. It's a movie. Come on. Okay, character tropes. I could only really think of one, which was everyone was a virgin, like, always. Mm-hmm. Like, in the 90s.
If you're a virgin, it was like...
yeah. And
like a Clueless where she's like, you're a virgin
who can't drive.
It's like, oh my god, as if.
Yeah, so they were really emphasized. She's all that. Like, obviously, she was
Never Been Kissed literally is the title
Never
of the
Been
movie.
Kissed. Like, we can assume the rest. We didn't. Drive Me Crazy. So that's the one with Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, I don't even think I've ever heard of that one.
So basically these two, I'll just sum it up real fast. These two kids who got broken up with by their exes or something start dating each other to make the others jealous or whatever. And obviously,
I know that one. And I know that trope. Sounds familiar.
And obviously, they fall in love and stuff.
Yeah,
it's all
fake
right.
dating.
Yeah, fake dating. So, the trends we were talking about from the 90s, shallow depictions of ugliness, started in this era. I think, like,
pretty much. Yeah.
This whole like curly hair, glasses, and a ponytail makes you ugly. It's like,
or like not wearing makeup. Like,
yeah, and I'm like,
so
that's
ugly.
People on a regular basis in high school, so that's kind of rude. But that
like,
was a big
Clueless,
thing.
I feel like doesn't really count, just because the whole movie is supposed to be super like very superficial and like very like.
And Clueless like calls itself out on the super because
exactly.
she learns that
because it's like the whole point
is
that like you want to see how shallow they actually are.
Yes, that's the point.
Which we'll get into later.
Yeah, but I feel like the other one, so 10 things. She's All That gets the most criticism for the movie just being about a makeover.
And she wasn't even like ugly before.
No, she wasn't.
Like, she literally
She's just a normal girl. They tried to give her
a
a little bit of a unibrow. Did you notice that? Like
give her a unibrow?
Like,
before
in the movie they like
which
put
is a problem
within
itself. But.
Yeah. Another trend, blondes. Literally, I think 10 Things I Hate About You. Clueless was blonde too. Never Been Kissed. Drive Me Crazy. Romeo and Juliet wasn't, and neither was She's All That. But brunettes were not popping in the 90s apparently. So yeah, that was a thing. And the whole, so we're not discussing the 80s, but the 80s was full of best friends falling in love, or like people realizing that their best friend was good for them, and notably in things like Secret Admirer or like other movies like that.
Or like maybe I'm thinking, what's that one Molly Ringwald movie?
Pretty in Pink. That one too. And then there was the one where like
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller.
They were already dating at the beginning. But like
a wonderful. Oh my gosh, I forgot that one. But it was like Watts and Stoltz or whatever. I forgot the characters.
Idea.
Whatever. Anyways, the girl is in love with the guy, and she tries to help him get his dream girl, but then he realizes he's in love with her.
Is it the one with like Patrick Dempsey in it?
No,
the one where he like holds the radio.
That's not Patrick Dempsey.
Wait, that's not Patrick Dempsey.
That's
no,
also
Patrick Dempsey's the one where
Say Something.
Yeah, that's the one where they ride away on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, we don't.
And the motorcycle. Yeah. Lawnmower. It doesn't matter. Anyways.
But basically, the trend was the death of the whole best friend falling in love with you. That was like the most popular trope in the 80s. In the 90s, it was like nowhere to be found. Like they really didn't.
It was like, I feel like they just came with like super out of the box ways of like falling in love with
and someone. I'll commend the 90s for stepping out of the box and trying some new stuff.
Definitely.
They were really trying to. I feel like this was the start of like.
Is there like a new era, like a new bigger era of like rom-com? Like the 80s was, it's like you can't, like even though it's only 10 years apart, the 80s and 90s are like vastly different. And then you can see how the 90s started influencing the 2000s after that.
And I feel like the 90s was the start of, and this could be a good or bad thing, but I think it was the start of rom-coms being for women only. I think a lot of movies, high school teenage movies, were like universally watched. That goes for everything too. Like Disney movies were watched by boys and girls, like princess movies. People weren't like, oh, that's a girl movie. It was like, this is an entertaining movie, we're gonna watch it. And I think the gender bias, I guess, against certain movies started in the 90s.
Or maybe they realized like, okay, we need to start pandering more to women
because so women make more money. Like from a business standpoint, women are more willing.
When you have women behind you and like when you have women as your fan base,
they're crazy.
You go wild. Which is why I don't understand why more just things like in general in the world don't try to pander more to women, because it's like
they do, just not very well.
Not well at all. Well, some things not well at all. It's like if you try to if you got women on your back, like
I think
your thing will become successful because we know how to support.
No, 100. Well, I mean that's what we're learning in business school. A lot of businesses are gearing towards women because like they've realized that even in a household, women are the most, and that's kind of like a stereotypical gender role, but it's a fact. Women are the main buyers. Like even if if husband is gonna go wear his boxer briefs, who's buying it? Probably his wife. Yeah, so it's like they're starting to adhere more to women because they're realizing that they're the main shoppers. So I think that's what the 90s were trying to do with like, let's just get these movies, especially because
I mean I think you can get into like, if you really want to get into it, you can think of it too as like in terms of any kind of like category of thing, whether it's like buying clothes or music or movies or whatever, where women are more like we have less of a pressure to talk about what we feel, and like if we really like something,
we can
talk about it. Like, we can say, like, oh my god, I love this movie. It was so good. It made me feel so happy, whatever. But, like, I feel like with men, there's that different, like, stereotype where they don't really, like, they don't feel like they can talk about things that they really, really are passionate about and enjoy.
It's not even that, too. I would say I agree with that, too. But even more on top of that, women are allowed to like anything. Like, we're allowed to be into cars. We're allowed to be into sports.
Debatable. We're allowed to. We might get shit from men, but, like, we're allowed by other women. Like, other women won't judge you for it.
Yeah. But if you know your stuff, I think generally you're allowed to be into stuff. Exactly. Men not necessarily get the same luxury. They don't get to be like, oh, I really like musicals. They'll be like, oh, you really like musicals? Are you also gay? And it's like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel like in general there's just that bigger pressure, which is why,
which sucks.
I feel like now they kind of realize, okay, we need to start pandering these movies towards women, because they're the ones who can
openly love things and
these
just
movies
not be judged,
and see themselves. I guess try to see themselves in these movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, like, out of the movies we named, I think most of them don't really age that well.
Yeah.
Like, things like She's All That, or
so I have a bias, you know. I love She's All That. I think it's kind of cute, but I do understand why it wouldn't age well. Like,
yeah, I guess just like it's not bad. It's just if you were to make that exact movie today, obviously it would be like, what? That's really shallow, like, kind of thing.
It's just Prince Jr. is so cute. I just every time I see him, I'm like,
understandable, very understandable.
Yeah.
And Never Been Kissed, obviously super weird. Like,
that's not gonna
she's supposed to be a high school I don't even think it aged well, like, a year after it got released.
Because it's like, aside from the plot / the movie not being good, like, period, it's like, you're sending a grown woman into a high school to pose as a student. Like, what if she started a relationship?
Well, that's the whole point. She falls in love with the teacher.
But that's not even the creepy thing. What if a high school
boy dating a boy
was into her? Like,
it's weird on all fronts. Like, if the teacher likes her, that's weird.
The teacher's a student. It's weird. He's lucky that she's of age.
And if a student likes her and she starts dating him, then she's weird. So it's
I know, it was just like a set for failure. It's just not cute.
Yeah,
and especially with a lot of, like, these teachers, like, coming out, like, a lot of news stories come out now where, like, teachers are, you know, with their students, so it's just not a good, it's not gonna age well. No, it's also not a good movie, no offense. Like,
I mean, like, I feel like this is so controversial, but I just don't really like Drew Barrymore movies that much. I don't know what it is about her. She's a super, like, sweet woman. Like, when I watch, like, interviews of her, like, I'm like, oh my god, she's such a sweet girl.
Yeah.
But when I watch
what are her movies? Can you name, like?
I'm, like, thinking of, like, she was in 50 First Dates.
Oh, I didn't.
The Wedding Singer.
I really liked her, and He's Just Not That Into You. But
he's just not that into you. Like, I don't know. Whatever Drew Barrymore's there, I'm just like,
Oh, really? She was cute in that movie.
I don't know. I like her, like, as an actor, like, as a person.
Actress, yeah.
Like, she's super sweet and, like, nice and whatever.
Really
and she's done a lot of iconic roles, but whenever she's in a movie, I'm like, I don't really like her that much. But Clueless, I feel like, is the most iconic movie.
But I'll just put some context. So we're also going to be naming the smart movies of each era. So smart movies are what we call movies that are ahead of their time or that brought something new to the genre.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have to be, like, amazing and age super well or whatever, but, like, something that you can tell made a big impact on movies of that era.
So Clueless is our smart movie of the 90s. Congratulations, Clueless.
Which I think is very well deserved. Like, it's, like, it has so many iconic quotes, like the outfits, just showcasing, like, the, like, it's not even like you're not even supposed to really relate to Cher, because it's like no one has, like, nobody lives like that. You're not a rich blonde girl in Beverly Hills, but like, you still kind of, like, you start to feel like she's your friend kind of thing. You know what I mean? You
start to get her. And also, I feel like why it was kind of revolutionary is in this era of makeovers being a big thing, it showed the dark side of the makeover. Because she ended up being, like, not good on the inside, and Cher needed a makeover on the inside, if you will. Like, they kind of switched.
They gave Ty the makeover.
Yeah.
But that she, like, ended up making her, like, worse on the inside. Like, making her kind of rude. And then, like, at the end, like, she realized that she could have had what she actually wanted if she stayed the same. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And I think it was really good. I think it's just gonna be kind of iconic, you know.
I feel like, well, it just goes to show, like, it's still iconic to this day. People still talk about it to this day, and I still watch it all the time. Like, I love it so much, and I think, like, I mean, you wrote here, I guess, that she ended up with her stepbrother.
That was a little weird to me.
But it's not.
To this day, it's
her
weird.
Stepbrother.
It's weird. It's weird. I think
I've seen, weird. I mean, I don't know. I've seen worse. I'm Arab, and we, like, marry our cousins all the time. Like, first cousins. So,
I suppose.
Dating someone that, like, used to be your stepbrother.
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
I just felt like it was useless. Like, I was like, why was he your stepbrother?
Like, I feel like they needed some way to. I mean, I feel like it's maybe common because they're rich and
they could have.
Dad got married a bunch of times.
I know, but rich people
they
hang out together.
Yeah, they could have just introduced him as like
the kid of another rich guy. Like, I just felt,
I don't know why that was necessary.
But
like
strange.
I said, it's weird, but I don't think it's as weird as things that I've seen in real life. And it's like it's not like they're actually step siblings. Like, they probably divorced a while ago. Like, they're very aware of the fact.
No, it's definitely not a problem. But I was always like, what?
I know. I was always like, huh, interesting. I was like I have to convince myself. Okay, no, they're not siblings. They're fine. Yeah.
Like, I just think it's Clueless isn't my favorite movie. I'm not gonna lie. But
of the 90s or like overall?
Of the 90s overall too.
Of the which one's your favorite of the 90s?
I would say I still like 10 Things I Hate About You better.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah. That one's really good in terms of like romance.
It is.
Clueless, I think, is more. I don't really think that much about the romance in Clueless. I think more of like the friendship aspect.
Yes.
And like the personal growth aspect. That I think is
great.
I
feel like
in terms of actual romance, like if I want to watch something and I want to be like, oh, like feel all gushy inside, I'm gonna watch 10 Things.
I just feel like Clueless has some, not a lot, but really short, slow moments where I'm like, okay, like some scenes I'm like, why was this here? Like, what? Versus 10 Things I Hate About You, like every scene is pretty dynamic. It's pretty upbeat and stuff. So I would say that's my favorite movie of the 90s.
Go rewatch it. I haven't watched it in a while.
What? 10 Things I Hate About You?
I'm gonna go watch it again.
You would. Bruh, they were actually, that movie was woke because literally, what's her freaking name? Oh my gosh, how did I forget the main character's name?
That's it's like Kat or something.
Kat, that's her name. Kat is talking about how
she's like a feminist.
She's a feminist, right? And her teacher's a African American man, and he's all like, okay, woe is you, like, you have your little white problems, like, what are you gonna cry about? Like, have you seen a black author? It was like kind of like a back and forth, like they were discussing, which are like debates that we have to this day. So I was like, dang, my brother.
Like, I guess like she really called her out. He's like, well, at the end of the day, you're still white.
Yeah, like he's like, what are your real problems? Like, what kind of problems are you dealing with? So, and plus, Kat, bruh, she was rocking them crop tops. She didn't know it was coming back. Like, low cargo pants, crop tops. I'm just a fan of that movie. I love it. But yeah.
Definitely those two are
but I think Clueless is, I will say Clueless is like, the smarter
overall,
movie.
Yeah, like when I think of 10 Things, I think just of like the romance. But when I think of Clueless, I think of like everything, like the message and everything.
Yeah, it did very well. Okay.
Now I guess we move on to the 2000s. I think 2000s was
exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah. That's like when I think there was a big boom in high school.
Like, let's do
teen high school romance / like just any teen movies. Like,
I feel like it gets easier to make movies.
They were testing the waters in the 90s, and then the 2000s like, okay, let's do this because like I'm just looking at some right now, like Mean Girls, She's the Man, Cinderella Story, Princess Diaries, Freaky Friday, Bring It On, another Cinderella Story, Ella Enchanted, John Tucker Must Die, and that's not even like the half of it. There are so many, and all of those are so iconic.
I know, they're so good.
Oh my goodness.
I kind of forgot that Ella Enchanted is low-key a high school movie because it's like medieval, but it's like they tried to depict high school as best as they could in the medieval times. It was kind of cute. I like that movie.
But so I guess the movie tropes that we're looking at in the 2000s is we're kind of moving away from the romantic relationship being the very center of the story.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's other exceptions, but it's a lot about just the high school experience. I feel like that's when it's really, you're getting a look into what's really, not what's really, well, high school. Like it's more
about
just
growth, and
stuff. It's not just, oh, these are two kids and they're gonna fall in love. It's like, no, let's look at the whole thing. Like, Mean Girls, where you're looking at the bullying, like, and the whatever,
the psyche of women in high school.
Exactly. And
She's the Man is literally, like, the romance is really a side plot. It's mostly about Viola trying to start her soccer career, if you will, or something like that.
And Freaky Friday, I guess, is just her and her mom's relationship.
Yeah, it's true.
And Princess Diaries too. Like, it's mostly just her trying to fit in with being a princess and everything like that. So we're kind of moving away from just like kind of simplified, just, okay, these are two high school students, they're gonna fall in love. Now it's like, okay, let's look at the whole high school experience. Even John Tucker Must Die, when the whole thing is just about John Tucker, but it's about the friendship between the four girls that forms based on this mutual hatred for this man, which I think is fantastic.
That's how most friendships start.
Exactly.
They're like, you hate him too? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're looking more at like protagonist's personal growth. I feel like there's a lot of focus on that,
which I enjoy, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing that we noticed a lot in the 2000s was it's mostly female perspective. I think I can't think of one off the top of my head where it's a male perspective. Yeah. Like the only male perspective one that I can think of right now is from the 80s, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
80s also had Can't Buy Me Love, but like 80s was like probably the last of them from a male perspective.
Yeah.
Also, Secret Admirer, a lot of those things. It's usually like a guy falling in love with his girl best friend. That's usually
basically. But yeah, so now we're just mostly focused on female perspectives. High school girls, pretty much.
Yeah. Which is, again, like we said, we think in the 90s they started adhering to women more, and then 2000s was like women. It was like,
okay, we need to go full green light on this and just make all the movies we possibly can.
Yeah.
And there are so many iconic ones in the 2000s. Personally, I think the 2000s is my favorite era of like rom-coms.
Rom-coms?
Because there's just there's so many to pick from, and they're all iconic.
They are.
The rise of like Amanda Bynes and Lindsay Lohan and Anne Hathaway, like all of those.
And early 2000s also has the best like adult rom-coms too, so it's really like a big era. Cause like
what year is Love and Basketball? I feel like we didn't put that.
It's early 2000s, no?
I think so.
I feel like it is.
We should add in Love and Basketball because that one's really good too. Let's look this up. Love and Basketball 2000. Okay, yeah. So Love and Basketball, I think we gotta add that one in there because that one's also really good.
It is
again really focusing also on personal growth. Like they each want to do their basketball careers and so it's again mostly female.
Yeah, and then I added that another trope is couples who do the same thing. I know this sounds weird, but it's like
I didn't really know what you meant
a lot of the couples just happen to have the same interest. Like it was like, she's the man. They're both
into soccer.
Yeah. Cinderella story. Aren't they both writers or something? Like they both, or is that wrong? Maybe
they both wanted to go to Stanford.
Yes,
or something. Whatever. Princeton.
Yeah, Freaky Friday. Like they're both gothic. Like whatever. Like I'm just saying. Like they always
both like motorcycles.
Yeah, like they're like people who are the same must be together. And
then I guess you can look at John Tucker Must Die, where he is like pretending to like all the same things that
exactly
pretending to be vegan for that one girl.
Bring It On. Is he not a? No, that's wrong.
Bring It On.
He's not a. Doesn't he do
cheerleading? The whole point is like
he does flips though. He does.
Does he? I don't remember.
Yes, I swear there's a scene where he like can do stupid flips and they're like, "Why do you know how to do that?" And he just like never uses it though.
I don't remember that.
I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Another Cinderella story. They're both singers slash dancers.
And I guess it's just like
different.
I guess that's perpetuating the idea that like if you and this boy like the same thing, then you must be
couples
in love.
who do the same stuff together stay together. Essentially,
birds of a feather flock together.
Yes, exactly. The character tropes. So I feel like 2000s though, it's not necessarily the rise of these more cheesy high school tropes, but since more movies are being made, these tropes are being recycled way more, so it kind of like looks, it's just louder, if that makes sense. So the one-dimensional mean popular girl bully character really came out a lot because in these movies, because there's just so many of them, except obviously Mean Girls, they develop that more, but in like
I'm thinking of like Princess Diaries, like Mandy Moore's character.
Yeah, she's just mean for no reason.
Yeah, and that's what I hate too. It's most of the time the mean girl is just mean for no reason. Exactly. Like, it's just like, oh, this girl's a loser, I'm gonna bully her. And it's like I feel like that's so uncommon. Now it's like it's not just like, oh, this girl's popular, so she's gonna be mean to everyone.
Yeah, like definitely bullying happens. That's definitely not what we're saying. No. It's just it's usually deeper than that, and I feel like if you're in a movie, you should be able to kind of analyze that. Like, obviously, from the view of the victim, they're just like, why am I being bullied?
Yeah,
and I get that.
The victim doesn't know.
But there's definitely, like even
there's
when
the story,
like, always. I've been bullied before, right? And I look at these girls, and I know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, I'm like, you're insecure. Like, I can tell that something's happening, even though I'm still like, oh, that doesn't matter to me. But in a movie, they should be showing, like, different perspectives and, like, showing...
or even just foregoing the mean girl... overall, it's like I felt like they needed to put that in there to make it like, oh, this girl's extra loser, like she's getting bullied too.
Like, especially I feel like the cheesiest one is Cinderella story. Like, her stepsisters were already rude. I don't know why they felt the need to add this extra mean girl to be mean again. Like,
was
I was
mean girl in that one?
the one who wanted to date the guy that she was.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was like why?
Like,
her character is useless.
It's like, even though there is already the mean girls, I feel like they had to add. No, we need a real mean.
We need another one. Like,
exactly.
Like, I was like, that's the point of Cinderella. The stepsisters are like rude. Like, that's
they
enough.
are the villain, not this extra.
But they're like, no, we need a cheerleader villain, and she's literally a cheerleader in it too.
No, exactly.
So it's like we can't have it without her. So
yeah,
I felt that was a little bit much. And we have the start of. I think they started a lot of the whole strong, independent women in this era.
Mm-hmm. Again, focusing more on like the character's personal growth,
exactly,
rather than just like their relationships.
Yeah, I think notably, She's the Man. And Ella Enchanted, like, she was, like, a very, like, I'm gonna go do my stuff. Even though
and
she was
I guess,
being
like,
told
to an extent, like, also Bring It On.
Yes,
when she, like, dumped her boyfriend.
That's true.
And then, like, she really, like, was hesitant to get together with that other guy. He's like, no, I need to focus on my cheerleading
career. That stuff. Even the Clovers, too, an entire group
for sure. They were all,
women.
I love the Clovers. Like, I honestly, like...
I want to be them for Halloween so bad.
Them.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah,
maybe for Halloween I'll be what's it, the Toros. I'll be a member of the Toros.
Gosh, that would be so dope. That would be too bad we don't go to the same school. It's lame. They're gonna be like,
we'll make it work.
Where's your other half? A different school. So
we'll make it work.
We'll FaceTime. Okay.
Yeah, I'll print a picture of you.
Yeah,
and I'll carry it around.
Okay, so the trends. Remakes of fairy tales, or the modern remakes of fairy tales and Shakespeare plays.
So I guess that's how they were able to pump out so many of those movies. It's like, okay, let's find an old fairy tale or Shakespeare play that we haven't done yet and do it.
We have two different Cinderella stories. We have She's the Man, which is based off Twelfth Night. Mm-hmm. You have, I think that's pretty much it. But
why am I thinking there's another one?
There probably is another one, but whatever.
I don't remember right now.
there's a lot. A lot of them are fairy
and Ella Enchanted, I guess, is like that medieval.
Yeah,
kind of.
I'm sure it takes from other princess like stories or fairy tales.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like it was popular in that era just to remake a Shakespeare play in like a high school setting.
I mean, also I think the whole making movies based off books too was a big thing. Oh, so Mean Girls is based off a book too.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's like tiaras and something like popular girls
and tiaras.
Yeah, it's like almost like that, like
but in high school.
But it's like the psyche of mean girls and bullies and tiaras.
I know. It's like, I know what you mean. It's like an informative book.
Yes,
I think I know what you're talking about now. It's like a nonfiction book, obviously.
But like a lot of
that's why I wonder if the author thought that it was gonna be that. Like, oh, we want to make a movie about your book. Oh my god, amazing! It's gonna be like showing like how like bullies or whatever, and they just made this movie. They were like,
no,
you go, Glenn Coco.
They're like, hold my movie.
Like, yeah, or like the mom that's like, do you want some condoms? A snack? Like, oh,
I mean, they made the money, so she cannot complain.
I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Where were we?
The trend. So the second trend is a very shallow depictions of what's ugly again. Like they continue with that.
Yeah.
Princess Diaries is just the worst for this.
Princess Diaries, I love Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's probably one of my favorites from the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. And I've read the books too.
Me too. And it just bothers me how they depicted her as quote unquote ugly because she had curly hair
and glasses.
Like just in general, like the idea. Okay, if you have curly hair, you're ugly.
Yeah.
That's just the tip of the iceberg of a very big problem.
And
about,
she was
like,
pretty.
You need to have straight, sleek hair if you want to be super pretty, and her hair wasn't just like curly, like wavy. Like in the movie, she had like giant curly hair.
I know.
Which is like, okay, what are you trying to say there?
It was literally like my hair sometimes can look like that. So I'm like,
yeah, and it's like
rude.
What are you trying to get at?
Yeah.
That if I don't have super straight hair, that I'm ugly. Like yeah, I remember when I watched it as a kid, because I watched it when I was really young. I remember I looked at that and I was like,
no, same.
Oh, like I want to straighten. And that's like one of the many things that made me like straighten my hair all the time.
100%. Because
I naturally have really curly hair, but I remember when I was younger and I watched that movie and I was like, oh no, like she her curly hair was so bad, like they couldn't even pass a comb through it. I can't do that either, so maybe I should straighten my hair all the time.
100%. I have kinky curly hair, just for context.
Oh yeah, I have I want to say like 2C,
4C,
sometimes
baby.
3A,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? I'm not like that kind of curly, but
yeah,
sometimes my hair can look like hers in the movie.
Yeah, no, I have 4C hair, so I was like, get that relaxer, and like worst thing I ever did. But it was just, obviously it's a combination of many things that made me get my hair relaxed, like, to be
but I just remember, like, I have a specific memory of watching it as a kid and being like, oh my god, I need
to,
because I remember, like, I saw her hair after, I'm like, oh, that's so much prettier,
it
is. I need to straighten my hair all the time, and it was like, that's
I know, and it's just bad. I don't think
we're still trying to move past that today.
Yeah,
I feel like, where it's like, oh, if you have curly, like, very big curly hair, it's like
wavy is cool now, but curly is still not like it.
Or even like, I feel like girls with straight hair want to curl their hair all the time, but then girls with curly hair want to straighten their hair all the time, and it's like that's just a bigger issue of like, why can't we be happy with what we have?
Sucks.
Society. We live in a society.
Gross. Okay, so the smart movies, right?
Or we can start with movies that didn't age well.
Oh, that didn't age well.
That won't age that well. Princess Diaries, unfortunately, as much as I love it, I don't think it's gonna age very well.
Me neither.
Just because also it's kind of unrealistic too. It's like,
she's a princess.
Princess, my goodness.
Yeah.
It did start that whole thing where it's like, oh my god, Secret Kingdom princess. Like now it's all like Hallmark movie. Hallmark movies are jumping on that now.
Yeah.
But I just think the whole makeover sequence is just not. It's not gonna fly anymore.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole like, oh my god, like you're ugly. We need to make you pretty, and then everyone's gonna love you or whatever. I guess there was some good messages like, oh, you need to be like true to yourself, kind of. I guess,
but it was like, a little weak.
It's a little weak. I remember I was on Twitter the other day and someone was watching it for the first time and they were like doing a live like tweeting thread, and at the end they were like, that was terrible, and I kind of was like, oh, but then I was like, well, I guess I kind of get it. It's like, it's not the best movie.
It's like when you watch 80s movies.
Yeah, it's like a childhood memory, I guess. Freaky Friday. You wrote Freaky Friday down here.
I think it might not necessarily right away, but I think it'll slowly fizzle out, and I think they're gonna have to make a remake again.
They already did. I was gonna say they already did.
Yeah, again.
I haven't heard good reviews
because this is Freaky Friday, which we're referring to in the 2000s, is already a remake
of what?
Of Freaky Friday. There's
How
another
many
one.
Freaking
There's
Freaky Fridays
there's a Freaky
are
Friday
there?
in the 80s or 90s or
Wow,
something. The only thing I'm like, why it won't age well is because of the music is a big thing. I think like the early 2000s like rock like is so like specific to early 2000s.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
It's not even good to hear in the ears.
Like, but I guess back in the day, like every like girl wanted to be in like a punk band or like whatever, and it's like now look at that, and it's like, oh,
I just feel like they're gonna. I just feel in my gut they're gonna do another one, and then that one's kind of just gonna phase out. For that.
I wonder.
Reason.
I haven't heard anything or seen anything about the newer one.
No, me neither.
I just heard that it wasn't.
That was a straight to DVD, so I wouldn't count.
Yeah, it was
that
like one of those. I don't know if it was Disney. I think it was Disney
because they own it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and
but
John
also,
Tucker, oh no,
wait, you one more thing for Freaky Friday. The biggest plot hole for that movie is why did the boyfriend, like love interest guy, fall back in love with the daughter? He was talking to the mom the whole time. He was talking to the mom, and then he sees the daughter play guitar, and he's like, "I guess I'm gonna forget my feelings for the mom." Like, I'm like, you were outside her house screaming her name and her praises. Like,
I love that movie though. Like, as much as I know it's not gonna age well, it's different than Princess Diaries, where I can watch it sometimes and I'm like, but like I love Freaky Friday. It's so funny.
I guess maybe I'm being a little harsh. I think for comedy wise, it's hilarious.
It's like it's a comedy to me. Like, it's like the grandpa and like the little kid and like. It's hilarious. It's just like that is like my childhood. I could see it
going kind of. I just feel like they're gonna make a remake and it's gonna like overshadow it.
Like a better remake. I think they need to wait a bit longer for like the 100%. People for like the new generation to not know about it, and then they make like a whole new thing.
Like our kids to be like, oh,
so I'm talking like a while from now, and be like, oh my god, that's like the movie when we were kids.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, last one is John Tucker Must Die.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
It's like
it's my guilty pleasure.
I was gonna say it's a guilty pleasure movie. It's definitely not a good movie.
No, it's not.
Really bad. The acting is really bad, and just like in general, it's like. Why would they give him like they give him like estrogen pills?
That was just
a mess.
That's
and, like,
controversial.
It's just very like I feel like they've made the characters out to be way older than they actually were. Like they were supposed to be in high school, but they all seemed like super like a lot older. I don't know. Like they were like that one vegan girl was like super like sexually active. Like
oh yeah,
I don't know. And like she was like going to protests and like stuff like that. And then
she's
like
a college girl essentially.
Basically, that's what I'm saying. They all seem more like college girls to me.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, French girl.
I like how they all became friends, but
I did love that.
At the end of the day, it was just like weird. Like it's just not
a little
cringy, I guess. But
it's cringy, but it's a guilty pleasure for me. But I understand that it's
like it's that was it? I'll give you my dirty
little secret.
That's all I can think of when I think of that movie.
Don't tell anyone.
It's just it's just
oh
my god, you're going right for it.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's like definitely gonna be a guilty pleasure where it's like it's not a good movie. I think it has like a very low score on Rotten Tomatoes,
which justifiably.
Let me look. I'm really curious. I think it has like 20, maybe.
I'm gonna guess 36.
John
and that's
Tucker.
being nice.
I think it's lower. Oh, 28.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know.
So yeah,
I should have said 26.
It's just not. Yeah. But so some of our favorite ones of the decade that we think
smart
are
movies,
good.
yeah.
So I would say first Mean Girls.
Yeah, obviously.
I think Mean Girls is never gonna die. Like as much as it is now, like I feel like now
I think Mean Girls
quotes
is gonna be
are getting
coolest.
a little cringy.
Yeah.
But you can't lie. Like the entire movie is filled with like iconic
Quotable.
quotes. The whole dialogue is an entire
Mean Girls
quote.
is gonna be the Clueless of the 2000s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
and also it's just like I guess it was a higher budget because like when you watch it, it's like super high. Like you watch some 2000 movie, you can fully tell it's a 2000 movie. That one, I feel like you wouldn't be able to tell if it's like 2004 or 2009. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the outfits don't seem the same to me. Like it's weird that
the
to
outfits
me watching
are ugly though.
No, I know that, but it's weird to me that Mean Girls was like made before She's the Man. Like She's the Man is like very like 2000s, but Mean Girls I feel like when I first found out about it, obviously we were like not old enough to watch it when it came out. It was like we were like 4 years old. But when I first found out about it, which was like when I was like maybe 11 or 12, I thought it was like a new movie.
Really?
Because I didn't know it was from the 2000s. Because all 2000 movies have that same like vibe, and that one just has a different one.
I think the clothes are the same. They're pretty bad, both of them. Like
I guess like the clothes is one thing, but I don't know if it's like the cinematography or.
No,
like
I get that there's a bigger budget.
I mean? Like,
I will agree.
I think it just has a bigger budget and it just had a better camera. Like I think that's literally it. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same way that like, what's that one movie from like the 90s, like a blockbuster movie that I always think is newer.
I would not be able to.
Maybe it's like maybe thinking of like Titanic or something. I don't know.
Probably not. Titanic is 1980s, isn't it?
Titanic's from the 90s.
I swear it's from the 80s.
No, it's like 1991.
I feel like I just looked that up. But
what? It is not from the 80s. Anyways, but no, I feel like Mean Girls had a higher budget, so like I feel like it'll still.
Oh, you're right. 1997.
1997. I thought it was 1991. Whoops.
Nope.
But anyways, yeah. So Mean Girls, I think is just like it's just always gonna be a classic, no matter what. Like it's just so ridiculous. Like everything that happens is so like melodramatic that it's so good.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
All the time.
The only thing that might be frowned upon is but not even that's a stretch. is the teacher who I just feel like they really screwed over Asian people in this movie.
Oh, a little bit.
The cool Asians and then the nerdy Asians. Oh my god,
yeah, it's definitely
and then
like
all the Asian girls were dating the coach. The coach.
Oh no.
Like I'm not,
no, like it's fully like I'm not saying it's a fantastic like woke movie.
Not.
It's very. I think the fact that it's very not woke
is what
makes it classic because it's so tone deaf that it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it doesn't take itself seriously.
It doesn't take itself seriously, and it's like, oh, these are the cool Asians, and those are like the jocks, the nerds. Like it literally what they went into it saying we're gonna make the most stereotypical high school movie ever and put every single stereotype like. Oh, this student's like the slut. This one's the virgin. Whatever. Like, I think that's the whole point. Yeah.
No,
so
they
like
know.
Yeah. That's like the whole point. So it's like that's why I think it's gonna always be a classic because it's like it's just gonna get more ridiculous as time goes on.
Yeah.
And as the more time goes on, it's gonna get even funnier because it's like that's so unrealistic.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. No, that's obviously a nitpick. I really don't think that's going to be a problem. I think people would just maybe point it out.
In general, the whole thing, like, I knew it was not serious the minute she went up to that table and was like, Jumbo! I forgot about that.
Or she's like, hey, where are you from? And she's like, Seattle.
No, she's like, I'm from Michigan.
Oh, I forgot. I can't even quote it.
Oh my god, it's just like that's when I knew I'm like, hey, this is not good. Like it's so ridiculous. I love it so much. I mean, it was written by like Tina Fey, wasn't it? So it's like,
it was
the whole
co-written. Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a comedy. Yeah. Like it's
Tina
not
Fey. What a genius. Good for her.
Oh my god, it's
Amy
so
Powler and her were getting together at that time. It's cool.
And I mean, at the end of the day, it does like dive deeper into like Mean Girls and like
I think
why some of them
its
are mean.
Biggest strength is understanding how girls operate in high school. Like
girls don't do violence.
They do passive aggressive little like, oh, you like that guy, I'm gonna go make out with him. That's 100%. That's happened to me, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you like that guy, let me go flirt with him. That's why it was like
it was so ridiculous, but had this undertone of like,
exactly,
no, this actually is what happens.
This is actually what happens. 100%.
Another one that I brought up to Anne like a couple days ago too that we were talking about is Bring It On. I think Bring It On was ahead of its time.
You did.
It was basically like, it's referring to like, I don't know if I'm using the right word, like gentrification. Maybe not.
I don't think
appropriation.
So. Appropriation. You could just stealing of
like basically the whole idea.
Stealing.
Yeah, the whole idea of not, I wouldn't say stealing culture, but stealing things.
Yeah.
From minorities, specifically Black people in general. Like when things
word.
Look at, like when people, especially white people, look at what Black people are doing and say, oh my God, that's so cool, we're gonna steal it and we're gonna do it now.
But it's not even that. It's like literally all of Elvis's songs, not all of them, but a big chunk of them were written by a Black artist first, and then he just,
or just in general, like the idea of like, oh, country music, that's like all white people, but it was started by Black people.
Yeah.
But white people saw it and were like, oh, that's cool, let's do it. And then the white people got more famous for doing it. So that's basically, it was like this whole thing. Imagine they said this whole story just through high school cheerleading, and it was like it's kind of like an interesting twist in the story.
It is, yeah.
Because you're like, oh, we're gonna be focusing on these toros and this girl who wants to be a cheerleader, and then at the end of the day, it's like, oh no, everything is stolen, and now we have these other girls from this other school who probably deserve it more because they were the ones who came up with all the routines.
Exactly. And also, they had Black people in their movie, which is good. And they weren't just
always, like... diversity is always a good...
that was
a good one. But the Clovers, like, Gabrielle Union.
Ooh!
I love Gabrielle Union.
I fell in love.
Like her and all the like, even I'm just thinking that one scene that I always remember is the one where they went to the football game.
Yes!
And then the cheerleaders are doing their routine, and then the girls are in the stands, like, so doing
dope.
it better, and it's like, that's just
so dope.
That's just the epitome of the entire movie.
It was like the whole stomp thing, they added that.
Really exactly. Like that. And like even at the end, how they won, like the Clovers won at the end, and it was like,
I forget that.
You need to accept the fact that some people just do it better.
Yeah. Too bad. And I think the last Smart movie is She's the Man. I think that movie is just hilarious. Every time I watch it,
classic.
I laugh out loud, and I feel like that is gonna keep going.
That one scene of Channing Tatum where he flips out his flip phone like, hello. That is the one. Okay, so you know how the new Samsung flip phone just came out?
What?
It's like a phone. It looks like it's like a full touchscreen phone, but it folds forward. And I'm like, yo, I would never get a Samsung, but I want that just so I could flip my phone like
just like Channing Tatum.
Just be like, hello.
Yes. And he like hits his head on the
my God, I love that movie.
I love that movie. It's so good. Especially the part where I also like notable things. I'm gonna take a shower. Those she just starts taking her Band-Aid off for her her wrap or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, the part where she gets hit in the metaphorical balls, and then she's like,
oh!
It burns!
Oh, that one's just, it's so, like, cringy to me just because, like, the parts where she's, like, has to pretend to be a boy is, like, super cringy, but it's, like, I just love it.
Oh, he's like, you know Monique. Like, she can't, she talks so weird, but I love it. That one's gonna be good. And also, I feel like it was one of the movies where the love interest was almost like a side thing. Like, it didn't start happening. It didn't start being important until, like, halfway through the movie. You know? Yeah. It's like...
The whole point's like, she just wants to play soccer.
And also, I didn't know soccer could be so cool. Like, there's so many flips in that movie.
We also didn't mention Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah.
Which, is that considered a high school movie? I don't think so. It's not really set in high school.
Summer and
it's set more on, like, the soccer field rather than high school. But I think Bend It Like Beckham, and that was, like, the whole sports.
Yeah.
Thing was like becoming a big deal, but Betty Like Beckham is also really is a good one.
Would you consider She's the Man a sports movie? Because I do.
Yeah. If there's a big sports game at the end, like in the climax of the movie, where like whether they win or not is like the deciding moment, then it's a sports movie.
So when people are like, "Ooh, let's watch a sports movie," I'm like,
"She's the man."
I'm trying to cop out, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it for 2000s movie. I think this is a really great era.
It was
so many iconic moments.
Tight.
Yeah. No. But yeah, I think now we can move on to the 2010s.
Yeah, 2010s. Okay, so this is the era where too many people got too many monies.
I think
so they're able to just make movies out of nowhere.
Hit or miss era, I would say.
So we have Easy
Very
A.
rarely hit.
Yeah. We have Easy A, The Duff, The Edge of 17, The First Time, Tall Girl, 8th Grade, Sierra Burgess, The Kissing Booth, Love Simon, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, The Perfect Date, and Paper Towns. There are many others, but
there's so many. 2010s was, like I said, I feel like definitely hit or miss.
Yeah. So the plot tropes or things that happen a lot in the movies or trends where imperfect awkward girls is really a thing. So I think they started realizing that high school girls kind of suck. They're not that cute. They're not that
and
cool.
they definitely flipped it on its head and be like, okay, well, let's show the complete opposite, you know, especially things like the Duff. Or,
they show more willingly, outwardly insecure girls, I would say. They know that they don't, they may not fit in, but they're okay with that. I think that's the new trope. Yeah. Also, you mentioned this, and I really agree with this. Girls having 0 or only one friend in high school.
Yeah, and it's what?
What?
I guess it's possible sometimes, but it's wow, how come every movie this girl seems to have literally 0 friends or one friend?
I'm you have one friend. Come on. It doesn't have to be a close friend, but it's you as someone you talk to in class.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's I guess if you're one of those people who's super quiet, introverted, whatever, that's different. But these girls super outgoing, whatever, and it's and I don't have any friends. And it's
it's why would you not have okay, well, let's just gloss over that, apparently.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Fake relationships. Huge deal in this era.
Yep.
Or fake arrangements. A lot of let's just... It's almost the derivative of the bet, almost. It's
it's the
close. Bet. These weird agreements that people have.
Specifically To All the Boys.
To All the Boys.
What's the other one?
The Duff is not a fake relationship, but it's kind of. It's they're doing something to help her.
Easy A, where she's
that's her whole business.
That's her business. That's honestly smart as fuck. Yeah. That's a good way to make money.
The Perfect Date is about that too. It's about him going on dates with pretending to go on dates.
Yeah, he's
they pay him.
Yeah, exactly.
Also a smart way to make money. Things like that. That's a big thing. And I feel
Sierra Burgess too. She's catfishing. That's the whole arrangement thing. It's all just very weird. Interesting.
Yeah, because her and the girl arranged to pretend Cyrano de Bergerac, very that. I don't know why I said it with the English accent. Cyrano de Bergerac. Okay.
Oh no.
But I feel also a huge thing is love triangles. They're really into giving these characters more than one love interest, which is I guess makes it exciting at times. Sometimes it's annoying, but
yeah,
I think Tall Girl did that.
For sure.
Love Simon did it in a cooler way. I'll give him that, because it was it was a love line, if you will.
Yeah, because it wasn't a triangle. Because
but it's still whenever there's 3 people involved in love, they're usually considered love triangles.
Yeah, exactly.
To All the Boys is a love triangle. There's a lot of them. Perfect Date too.
I didn't watch Perfect Date.
It's not that good.
No, I saw Noah Centineo, and I was no thanks.
No thank you. The Duff Loki has not really.
Yeah, kind of, because she was liking that other guy, but
he also had his ex too. So
it was a love. It was an octagon. Basically.
Love how it's 8 and that makes no sense. But we both were yes.
Whenever it's more than 2 or 3, I'm it's an octagon.
Okay.
Yeah, so different, I guess, that's the last of the plot tropes, but different character tropes.
Yeah. The imperfect awkward girl would be in there. So,
again, we have that one-dimensional mean girl bullies, especially in the Duff.
The Duff, it was...
Bella Thorne's character pissed me off so much.
I will talk about this later, but just go on. We'll talk about this later. I have some big stuff to say about that movie.
All right. No problem. And just in general, I guess Sierra Burgess kind of challenged that idea with the mean girl ended up not being mean, but
then it flopped. It was on its way to being really good, and then it flopped.
And To All the Boys, what's her name?
Jen,
yeah. Genevieve or whatever.
Genevieve. She was just mean to be mean, kind of. But nah.
I mean, but she was mean to her before she even took Peter away.
Yeah.
She was just, in the beginning of the movie, she was like, "Oh my god, your boots are so ugly. This girl's wearing Uggs."
Yeah. But then it's also they explained it, so I'll give them that. They're but it was kind of a lame explanation. They could have done deeper than that.
Obviously, there are some outliers to this. I'm looking at the ones on the list that we haven't really mentioned yet.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk about
Edge
those.
of 17 doesn't, things like that. First Time doesn't, but First Time also sucks, so whatever.
First Time is a whole different story.
Yeah.
8th Grade obviously doesn't do that.
Yeah. So, character tropes.
Yeah, so you talked about the mean girl.
Yes, there's another one which I'll explain more. I call them the "There must be more than this provincial life" from Beauty and the Beast, or "I just want to get out of here and travel, girl." It's
Paper Towns.
Paper Towns. The First Time.
Yeah.
What is it? There's another one too. The Perfect Date. It's literally, and most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, it's these white girls who have no problems in their life, and they're literally complaining about how they're stuck in this small town, which half of the time is not even that small. It's just like a normal town.
Yep.
And they're complaining about how they want to travel. Literally half of the time, these girls are complaining, but they're not even doing anything to do that. If they were like for an example, this is just out of what's that, Monte Carlo, which is Selena Gomez's movie. There's 4 girls, right?
Yeah,
and they're all working and saving up their money to go to Monte Carlo to travel, right? I'm like, bruh, why aren't any of these girls getting a part-time job instead of complaining about, oh, I just want to travel, I want to get out of here? Make some money, you dummy. Like shut up. No one cares about your little oh, it makes me so mad.
We didn't talk about this, but because I don't think anyone's ever seen this movie, but I don't even remember what it's called, but there was a movie on Netflix that I watched, and it was about a bunch of like high school kids.
Yeah.
It's like KJ Apa, Maya Mitchell, like those type of people.
Oh, The Last Summer.
And this girl like super, like really wants to travel. Like she wants to get out of this town and go to Columbia University, whatever. It's the same thing. It's like,
and I'm like, okay. You're not like, bruh, your problems are so minuscule. Like I don't want to hear an entire movie about this girl who thinks she's special. Like, and you didn't watch The Perfect Date, but The Perfect Date has this character to a T.
Oh,
and she even says like, oh, in the movie, this white girl who's woe is me, who is from a rich family, by the way.
Oh my god.
She goes like, oh, she's talking about like this graffiti artist, and she's like, oh, he's probably just some privileged white boy. And I was like, are you not exactly
a privileged
that?
White girl?
Like you're describing yourself. Like, because she's like, I'm bad. I'm a bad girl. Like I do different things. I like to read. God. I'm not like other girls.
Oh my god.
Ugh, I hated that character.
Anyways, we can move forward. Gay best friend. That's big. That's a big one.
Just it. That's when it started. They're trying. It's like a lame attempt at LGBTQ plus representation. It was good at the time when they were starting, but I feel like movies need to be pushed past that at this point. It's like,
I mean, the gay best friend is also, I feel like, an evolution of the black best friend.
Yes, it is.
Because I remember,
which minority are we doing next?
I saw a tweet about this the other day where it was like all these movies where the best friend, even to this day, like they showed 2000s movies and modern movies where it's the best friend always has to be a person of color.
It is.
Like tall girl, Spider-Man, like the best friend, and then like tall girl.
But to be fair, I'll give Spider-Man
High School Musical,
credit.
The musical, the series, like everything.
High School Musical, the musical. Spider-Man though, he has people of color love interest, 2 of them, so
that makes sense.
I'll give it to them.
But it's like there always has to be. It's always like everyone revolving around the white character. So I feel like they need to move past that.
Yeah. So trends, they actually put sex in these movies. That's a big thing,
and not in the same way that sex was in like John Tucker Must Die, like that kind of thing, where it's like a little more realistic. A little more realistic.
This one actually is,
especially I want to bring this up for 8th grade. I don't. Have you watched 8th grade?
I have.
Yeah, like the scene where she's in the car and like she's basically getting pressured into like having sex. Like, that's like very realistic. In general, 8th grade I feel like offers the most realistic look into any.
I have some thoughts on 8th grade. I could probably just talk about it now. I feel like it should have been a show instead of a movie.
Oh, for sure.
Like it should have been a 10 episode limited series.
Like they could make a whole show about it,
right?
Because it's like it's very realistic.
Because I feel like as a movie it was kind of anticlimactic a little bit, because I was like, oh, like, you know, I feel like they could have shortened it and made it like a 45-minute show. Yeah. And then her episode would have been like anxiety. And and I think they could
make every episode could have been like her YouTube channel, like
it could have been video, you know or I mean? They could even change characters in the same middle school. Like her episode is about anxiety and that's what she's dealing with. That makes Next sense. Episode is about maybe there's a person of color at the middle school and they're dealing with like, you know, the pressures of Eurocentric beauty standards. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That could have been a good thing, but
I don't feel like in terms of like movie, like cinematography and like script and everything, I really like the 8th grade.
Yeah, but I digress. I'm getting off topic.
Yeah. And then another trend, Noah Centineo.
Yeah, just him.
They really he did that one movie and they're like, okay, we gotta put him in everything
Netflix
now.
Was like, this guy is a moneymaker, so they really put him in everything.
So now I feel like they really shot themselves in the foot with that one, because now it's like, it's super cringy. I hope he can make a comeback. I mean, he's not a bad person.
Yeah, no. Just to be clear, he was in To All the Boys, Sierra Burgess, and The Perfect Date, which are all Netflix movies.
And he's also in this one called Swiped.
Yeah. And he's also in some SPF 19.
A bunch
Let's
of
not even
movies.
talk about that one.
I mean, he's making money. I can't
money moves.
Netflix rom-com. So yeah, Netflix basically boomed in this era.
And not even just teen rom-coms. They did a lot of other rom-coms too.
Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah, they did Set It Up. A lot of things. So they were...
Netflix is like, they grasped, they're holding the necks of the rom-com industry and said, we got it.
Yeah. And I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah, because I can't think of any like recent rom-com that came out in theaters.
No.
It's mostly just Netflix. I think it's also like they know that most teens nowadays watch Netflix rather than going to the theaters. So Netflix is grasping that and saying, okay, we're going to make all the teen movies because then teens can just watch it on Netflix. Yeah.
I think another trend is more... me and Monica talk about this if we always talk about like if we like this, but slice of life, which is more like movies that are more about character growth rather than an actual big like conflict happening. It's more about like their day to day and how they cope with normal things.
8th grade definitely is like
8th grade is like slice of life 100%. I'd say Edge of 17 is a little bit slice of life. I think that's pretty. Like, even Paper Towns, I could argue, is not too much, but a little bit, like, nothing really happens in that movie that you'd be like, conflict, like, you know, a big problem.
It's just her running away and then the friends, like...
But, like, the movie isn't even about her, really, if you really think about it. So, I think it's more... And I think I do like it for teens. I think it's good to analyze, like, their day-to-day.
I guess. Like slice of life in general.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant Paper Towns. I was going to be like, no.
No.
I remember I paid to watch Paper Towns.
We both went, and we went together, upset.
And I was so annoyed. I'm like, why did I pay money?
We were in the back of the theater with our other friend, and we were just like laughing and yelling at the screen, basically. Like heckling, you know, like being like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Especially when they started singing Pokemon, we were like, what?
Oh, no. Like, I was like, what's happening, sweetie?
Oh my.
Yeah, I think just in general, like slice of life, like things are trying to get back to that more realistic, you know, feeling. But also, I think another trend that's starting to appear, obviously, is more diversity.
Yeah.
Whether it's the main characters, I don't know, but I guess diversity of different types of people, different looking people, different relationships. Like I'm thinking like Edge of 17, I think was the first rom-com to have, or not rom-com, like first teen movie to have an Asian American
love interest.
That's, I lost my words for a second there. Asian American love interest.
I know, it's so cute.
I just want to talk about Edge of 17 for a second. I love Edge of 17. That's probably my favorite one of the decade. It's so...
I agree with you.
It's so, like, relatable to the point where it's, like, you feel it. Like,
I cried, like,
even if you don't experience the exact same things that she does, it's, like, you really feel it because it's, like, it's about family. It's about your, like,
Can I just read our favorite quote? Because literally, after I finished watching the movie, I said my favorite part of the movie was, and we literally, like, at the same time...
What is it? I don't remember.
You know, ever since we were little, I would get this feeling like I'm floating outside of my body.
Oh my God.
Looking down at myself, and I hate what I see. How I'm acting, the way I sound, and I don't know how to change it, and I'm so scared that the feeling is never going to go away.
Like, that is just, it's so, like...
They literally, like, I don't know how they went into
so
my
spot
head
on. I know.
Of a teenage girl, and then took
like,
it out.
That is, like, the one I watch, and I'm like, that is exactly... Like, I would want to show that to my kid. Like, 100%. You know what I mean?
And they address, like you said, mental health.
And, what was the other one?
There's no mean
family.
girls.
Yeah, there's no mean girl. It's not about, like, the main conflict is between her and her brother.
Yeah. And
which I relate to that a lot. So it's like, you know.
And you know what? The movie really makes you feel, because, like, at the beginning of the movie, I was also like, ew, her brother sucks. Like, I thought he sucked too. I was like, he's so annoying. He's the perfect guy. Like, I'm really good at hating perfect people. So I was like, this sucks. But then they really did a good job of showing, like, how he struggles too. Like, you're not the only one with problems. It was like,
and she was probably like projecting her problems onto him.
It was very like, whoa. She was a very woe is me character, but then she learned that, like, you know what, everyone kind of has problems, but they didn't make it in a way that was preachy. You know?
And it was not in a way where it's like, everyone has problems, I need to forget about mine.
Yes.
Where it's like, everyone has problems, so I need to deal with them on my own. Like, I can't expect other people to fix me. Like, not fix me, but I can't expect my solution to be in other people. Like, I need to fix myself.
Like, first. I need to like me first before, everything else happens.
Personally, that's probably my favorite. My second favorite, I want to say, is probably Love, Simon.
Yeah, these are all smart movies, by the way. We would consider them all smart movies.
Yeah, so Edge of 17, Love, Simon. Love, Simon did really good things for the LGBTQ representation. It did. The first rom-com, I'm pretty sure, like mainstream. I think it was major studio rom-com.
Yeah.
To feature an LGBT couple or a character and couple.
Main couple. Yeah.
It's so cute too.
It's
adorable.
It is. And you know what's crazy?
Nick Robinson did a really good job.
He did at first. The whole time, by the way, I knew who it was because I was like,
I wasn't sure.
You didn't?
Well, at first you think you're like, oh, it's probably that guy, but then you're like, well, no, and then maybe not.
Because you know why I knew? Because he's an actor on The Flash.
Oh, he
is, he came out like on the show as a bisexual. So
I think the actor is either bisexual or gay. I'm not sure.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, not on the show. Sorry, I should have said.
Oh, okay.
He's an actor on the show, and like I follow that show. So the actor came out as bisexual while filming that show.
Yep.
So that's
why I remembered, and I was like, okay, I guess.
So I already knew. Like I was like, oh, it's probably him. Like I was.
But that's
just,
why.
for
the first half of the movie was like, oh, it's probably him. But then when they showed him and like the girl making out, I was like, oh, I guess not. But
because they showed him the most, and I was like, everyone else would kind of be lame.
Yeah.
He was the most developed character. And he's cute.
He's cute. Oh, I love that movie. That movie just makes me feel like all giddy and like excited.
But my favorite thing was like, at first I didn't get why. You know what? Okay, every time he was doing something to sabotage Abby, right? Being with
being sorry.
With the other Martin.
I zoned out for a second.
With Nick, sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he still doing this? Because he had already told Abby that he was gay. So I was like, bruh, like, who?
Well, then he didn't want the other guy to tell everyone that he was gay.
No, yeah, I know. But, like, I was like, I don't get... Because
he could have told Abby,
I'm like, you've already confessed to one person... Because he did reveal later in the movie, like, what his motivation was, right?
Yeah.
And like, at the same time, I didn't see the gravity of the situation till, like, Leah, which was the girl who had a crush on him the entire time, right? Mm-hmm. She said that she's okay with him being gay, and that's not the problem, right? But that she was mad at him because he set her up to get her heart broken.
Like,
right,
in general, the one thing I hate about Love, Simon is just the friends and how they blame him.
Really? Like, I thought they did a good job.
They don't even care about the fact that they got mad at him for getting blackmailed. And it's like,
I thought they did a good job at justifying their anger. I thought the same thing like you. I was like, oh, why are you getting mad at him? Like I
don't think they should have gotten mad, but they were like very not sympathetic the fact that he was getting blackmailed. Like they did not want to hear it. He was like, well, I had to do it because I was worried that this guy was going to out me to the entire school.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we don't care. You were mean to us.
No,
it's
but
okay, like at least have
Abby,
a little bit.
I
like,
get
they like, it was so clear that they didn't understand. Like, it was clear that they didn't really understand what he was going through.
But I thought Abby made sense because she was like, you already told me, and then you're going to go... Like, you told me something really personal, and then you're kind of manipulating me at the same time. Like,
yeah, I see that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they shouldn't have been mad. He definitely did do bad things, but I think... They should have been more sympathetic. They should have apologized too, I think.
No, 100%. I think they should have gone up to him when he got harassed in the cafeteria. I thought that would be the breaking... Because I get being like, hey, like, we're kind of mad at you, so can you, like, leave us for a bit? And he also didn't... Which I get it. Obviously, he's going through such a tough time, so it's, like, not the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I understood that, like, they were kind of mad because he was silent, too, the entire time. And they were, like, trying to reach out. But I do think that Leah has the most right to be upset because she's his best friend since, like, the beginning, right? He didn't tell her, and I get why she would be butthurt, even though it has nothing to do with
We're, like, really getting into the movie right now. This is not a movie review.
I know, I'm sorry.
We love this movie.
She had the right to be upset because of what he did. He was, like... Even if he thought she was in love with Nick, why would you set her up to go out with him when you know that he likes someone else? Like, that is really shady. Like, I was like... I know. I felt bad. Obviously, I think they did a good job, at least for me. Maybe you don't agree, but I think they did a good job because I felt both sides. Like, I was like, you know what?
I just think like they made the friends seem like so harsh. Like, they didn't show them being sympathetic at all. But that's
I think, and also, freaking, what's his face? They didn't address how ugly he really is. Like, his personality, you know? Yeah. Like, it's like, you're such a bad human being. Mm-hmm. Like, I cannot even think.
I forgot his name. What's his
Martin or something?
Martin, yeah.
That's such a... Like, I can't...
Jail. prison.
Yes! I feel like it should be
jail
illegal.
time. Anyways,
some people get killed for that. Like, it's not even a joke.
Yeah, it's really not a joke.
He really could have
ruined
that shows
his life. Like privilege, honestly. Like you live in a place. He
really could have
like,
ruined his life.
Yeah. Because how did he know if his parents were like gonna be cool with it? Like,
right?
Anyway.
Like they could have kicked him out. Like I was just really not. I was like they kind of underplayed how bad of a person he really is. So
anyways, smart movies of the era. So we went through Edge of 17, Love Simon, To All the Boys. I think is pretty self-explanatory. It was a big thing for like
for a main character,
especially Asian main character.
Yeah.
And just like in general, it was pretty like. I feel like it's definitely gonna be a classic.
It is
of the era.
Yeah.
And then also I want to say Easy A.
Yeah, I
go
think so
in
too.
early 2010s here, but Easy A was definitely like it took the topic of like slut shaming head on and just like really delved into that.
It did.
I like how the whole story was told just through her like telling a story on like a video, and how it referenced like the 80s movies and stuff like that. I think that one's definitely gonna be a classic too. Yeah. Even just that one scene where she's singing, I got a bucket for the sunshine. It was very 2010.
Yeah. But, I really liked it.
Very like smart dialogue, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think
not
even
perfect,
though it does fall
dialogue.
Into some tropes, it did well.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just like a solid movie, and I think it's definitely it's an important topic to talk about. Okay, so I think we need to move on. Yeah. So now we're getting into
we didn't talk about ones that
didn't age well. Very self-explanatory. The kissing booth. Why was that movie?
It didn't age today.
It never got off the ground. It was always just there.
The sexual harassment scene in general, I don't even understand how it was made.
I couldn't even finish that movie. It was so bad. Sierra Burgess is a loser. Not good either.
It's not. Sierra Burgess is an asshole in the movie.
Exactly.
So rude.
Tall girl. As someone who's tall, I'm personally offended at the fact that they made the movie Tall Girl.
Yes.
Can't you just put a tall girl in a role and call it a day? Why do you have to make a whole movie about the fact that she's tall? I mean, like, oh my god.
And that's her only personality
trait. My life is over. I'm so tall. Like, girl, we have many other problems being tall.
And I hated her love interest. It was literally it was like the nice guys finish last anthem. He was like, I've been carrying this crate just in case you would actually like me one day, so I could come up and kiss you.
It was just like I was just annoyed. Like, he's not a good person. Like about when people try to do representation, it's like you have to make it all about that. Like the whole point of representation is you want it to be like the norm. Yeah. So making a whole movie about, imagine if they made a movie called like Asian Girl. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like her whole personality is the fact that she's Asian. Whatever. Like you can't do that. Like it's like just put an Asian girl in a normal role. That's
also,
what they did.
The movie is set in New Orleans, and there's way too many Caucasian people around. How does that make sense?
How
does that make sense?
That's very true.
And also, you're gonna give a pretty tall white girl with blonde hair, brown, blue, whatever
like
eyes.
They really should have made it about a tall like basketball player.
And then they gave her a black best friend to be her sidekick, and then you're gonna have this white girl be all woe is me while her black best friend is like, come on, like it's not that bad. Like it's like it was just like her whole like, you think your life is bad, and like I wear
size 13 Nike.
Like I literally saw like this. It was like a tweet or whatever of them, and like there's a scene where her best friend comes in the washroom and is like, you need to get it up, like you need to be chill, right? And her friend's like, you don't even understand. Like that's literally the line.
Oh my god!
And then someone was like dubbed it, and they were like, I just got called the N-word on the bus. Like, you think I don't understand?
Oh my god. That reminds me of a clip I saw from what's it called? Bend It Like Beckham. Oh. The main character's like, I just got called like a Paki, whatever. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm Irish. I know how it feels.
What? That is not a scene. I don't remember that.
I think it is.
That's terrible.
I'm pretty sure it is. Because I guess like in England, like Irish people are like,
shut
up. But it's like, shut up. Like, we're
ugly. Don't do that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, last one. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to talk about this. The Duff. I've read the book. The Duff book is so good. It addresses so many things. I'm just going to talk about it. Oh, yeah. In the book, which is so different from the movie, Bianca, which is the main character girl, her parents are her dad falls back into alcoholism because her parents are getting a divorce. Like, he used to be an alcoholic way before she was born. He stopped, got sober, whatever. And she can't deal with it, so she starts a hookup relationship with Wesley to, like, get away from that, right?
Interesting.
And it's like it's like not a good relationship because they're both, like, leaning on each other, like sexually, I guess, to like forget their woes because his parents are super absent, like they're never around,
like in the movie.
So that's what the whole thing is, right? they address the Duff part. He calls her essentially ugly and fat. Like,
basically,
think about it.
He literally just says it straight to her face.
In the book, she addresses it. She's like, he, like, basically confesses that he likes her, and, like, he's like, I do. And she's like, I don't believe you because you call me ugly and fat, like, every day, every time you call me Duff. Like, how does that, like, make me feel? And he has to address that, and, like, he has to grovel a little bit to be like, hey, because she realizes, like, I'm worth something.
Better, yeah.
Also, there was absolutely zero mean girls in the Duff. There's not even
in the book, yeah.
There's no in the book.
And they added like 5
there
in the movie.
Literally absolutely no bully character, nothing. It was just about her having to deal with, you know, her parents being split up, and then her having to deal with, like, and she's also, like, in the book they depict her as a pretty, like, judgmental person. Like, there's actually a character who's pretty promiscuous, if you will, and Bianca judges her in, like, the book, and then she realizes, like, she's like, I've been sleeping with Wesley this entire time. Like, how can I judge this girl who's sleeping with other? Like, she's like, we're the same. I just felt like they boiled it down to such a shallow.
Yeah, and in general, this is, like, probably not on topic, but, like, the whole thing where it's, like, viral, and then they send it to the whole school. It's like, I hate that trope where it's like, oh, you can send something to the entire. How do you have everyone in the entire school's phone number?
You don't care about them.
Like, no, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, we gotta move.
Yeah, we gotta move on. So now I guess we're going into the 2020s. So some movies obviously have already been released, like To All the Boys 2, which, by the way, you can go check our review for that in episode 1.
Do that.
And then also we have some upcoming movies. Yeah. So we have To All the Boys 3. All the Bright Places, Kissing Booth 2. Why is that even on there? I don't know. Stargirl and The Prom. Those are the ones that we could find that are definitely coming up soon.
So we won't explain all of them. Obviously, if you want to look them up, you can. But we think that from these movies, we can see certain trends and things that are going to be more popular in the 2020s.
In general, though, it's not looking too good for me.
Yeah, you're not excited?
I'm not very excited. There's nothing that's
to be fair, though, we must say Netflix doesn't announce movies before they release them until, like, way later. Why, so the only one that I know that's coming out is To All the Boys 3 because they said it a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So it's not a full picture. It could come at any time.
Yeah, it's not a full picture. This is all what we know now, but from the ones we do know, I'm not very excited.
The only one I'm kind of and seems cool is The Prom, which
you told me it was a musical. Yeah. I love musicals.
So it's a musical about these people who are trying to let this high school in a small town let this lesbian girl take her girlfriend to the prom,
which is a good story.
So I think I'm
okay with that.
It's gonna be cool. Yeah, and I feel like I predicted this, that the trends of 2020 are gonna be more LGBTQ plus movies.
Definitely, I think Love, Simon was kind of like the tester. Yeah. Now that they saw that it got successful, they're like, okay, green light, we can do that. Yeah. Bring in the gays.
Exactly. Let's do it. I think they're gonna continue with the whole slice of life thing because it's really those movies tend to do.
There's more pressure to make things more realistic.
Yeah, there is, and I think they're gonna start doing more political commentary. And what by that I mean, like, similar to how Bring It On did it, like embedding what's happening in culture into the movie in a more simpler way. Like even Zootopia, by the way, which is an animated movie.
Yeah, completely but it definitely showed.
But it showed like race relations, prejudice in a kids movie in like smart ways. So I really think that movie's gonna start doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about things that we want to see for the upcoming decade. We could talk about this for hours, but we don't have a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time.
This is the one I added. I personally want to see more social media. Mm-hmm. Not because I'm like, oh, social media is amazing, I want to see more of it, but that's just what the reality is right now. And I think that a lot of movies have been missing out on really taking social media and embedding it into stories, because really, like, teens and young adults and most people nowadays, like, their lives are intertwined with social media. And I think, like, there needs to be more focus on that for it to be, like, really realistic. Like, I think they could do a really good job. Specifically, I, like, have a vision. I have a vision of a rom-com movie being told through a computer screen. Like the movie, like, Unfriended kind of thing. I just think it'd be so cute, like, whether it's, like, two people who, like, meet each other online.
I think the hard part
a girl who's, like, maybe, like, a YouTuber, and, like, a guy watches, like, her YouTube channel or something. I don't know. Like, it sounds really stupid when I say it, but I think it would be, like, really innovative.
The reason why they're not leaning into social media 100% is it's very hard to convey human emotion on social media.
But I think they could look into that. Like, I think they could show how social media impacts like real life and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Real life, but I'm saying if you're doing it through social media, you're making it harder for them to convey.
I guess, but like you could also remember social media if it's told like through a computer screen, you can include like video chatting and stuff like that. I just think it'd be cool. Like I think, I don't know, if I had money and I was a filmmaker, I feel like I would do that just for fun, just to see what it would be like. But I think in general, like they're kind of tiptoeing around social media a little bit, where it's like they don't want to show actual like what actual teens are doing on social media. Yeah,
sending
not
nudes.
Not like the Duff where it's like, oh my god, we're making this video viral. Like that's so unrealistic. Yeah, like, I want to see some real thing. Like even like in 8th grade, how the girl she wants to be a YouTuber, like that's really realistic. That's what kids a lot of kids are doing nowadays. Yeah. Anyways, we can move on.
Well, I think the things I want to see are, I think I want to go back to a little bit of the 80s where they do rom-coms through guys' perspective. Definitely. Because I think it's a shame that rom-coms are like dismissed as a category and it's so easy, like, oh, those are girl movies. It's like, okay, what does that even mean? So if we can kind of bring in,
or just guys in high school in general, we don't get to see that perspective a lot.
And like I would like to know what they were thinking at the time, because I still don't know what guys are thinking half the time. So I feel like that would be cool. Also, I'm biased, I just want a main black girl to be the, like, I want To All the Boys the black girl edition. That's what I want. And
not where the point of the story is that she's black. Like just a normal regular rom-com. Like I guess you could look at, what was that one?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
One.
The one where she's
getting deported. No, the one where she's getting deported.
Oh, the son is also a star.
Like that's also annoying because it's like the whole thing is, oh my god, I'm getting deported. Like give me just a normal
and
regular
also it's
rom-com.
Not realistic. Like I'm like, why is she trying to get wiped up in one day? Like I want to see a normal girl in high school.
Just in general, like I think it's like it's weird that there hasn't been like a very big like popular one.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like
it's always getting there. Like we're getting there with like To All the Boys was a really big step because it's always been the best friend, the side character, who's the person of color, but now it's getting to be the main character, and I think that's a really good idea. I want to see like, even though it's like one main character that's person of color, like there has to be like a white person counterpart. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I just want to see in general and just make it look more realistic.
Yeah, and we talked about diverse friend groups, like
diverse friend groups where it's like, just in general try to make it seem more like what it actually is like now.
Like I want a high school set in New York, because New York is probably arguably one of the most diverse cities in the world. So you would have people of all races together, and like that kind of race relations wouldn't be the center of the movie, and you could just have like I feel like when I was younger and I'm like, I just want to watch a feel good little love movie, I could never see myself in any of these characters like physically. I just never looked like them. Like even if like I
just look at our like friend group, for example, like growing up, like we had like different, like we were all different types of people, like from different backgrounds, and like we were all dating and involved in different people from different backgrounds. So it's like, that's what it is like. That's what life is like right now. So I think that's definitely something they need to move towards, where it's like, give me I think also give me more friend groups. That's another thing I was talking about before, where it's like, I want to see movies centered around like a friend group and not have
just like not necessarily all about
because friend groups, definitely there's a lot you could do with that.
Okay,
I think we're gonna have to end it here. But that was basically our rom-coms. I'm excited for this upcoming thing. I have faith. Like, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of innovative things.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm excited. Also excited for Netflix to give us money so that we can make a rom-com. Honestly. Really looking forward to that.
Me and Adam have, like, so many ideas.
I know. It would be so good. I mean, we could be pumping out movies left and right. Don't you worry, Netflix.
I have a vision. But anyways.
But thanks for listening, and subscribe to our podcast.
We'll be coming at you next week. Yeah, we're coming at you next week with a new movie review.
Yeah, we will. Guess
what
it is.
It may or may not be my favorite movie of all time.
It may or may not have been the movie that was that won Best Picture at the Oscars.
Maybe.
It's Parasite, if you didn't catch that.
It's going to be Parasite. We're talking about Parasite next week. Yeah. You should tune in. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be awesome. All right.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.